What's up, everybody? Welcome to another video of Wildcard Sports. Today's video, we're going to go over the NFC South. If you're a subscriber, if you've watched my other videos, we've done the NFC West so far and the NFC East. So this is the NFC South predictions. We're going to get right into it and start with the Panthers. And by the way, this is best case scenario for these teams and worst case scenario for these teams this upcoming season. So here we go. Best case scenario for the Panthers. We'll look at their schedule right here. They start off the season with the Saints. Last year, the Panthers only had 2 wins on the season, so they should improve from last year, but they do have a tough schedule. So they start off with the Saints. I think that's going to be a loss just because Saints are at home. It is a division game. It could be close, but we're going to go with the Saints there. Panthers at home against the Chargers. I would love to take the Panthers here, maybe in a best-case scenario, but I still don't even think they could beat the Chargers here. But because of last year, Chargers tend to choke on the road. I don't know if that's going to be the same thing this year. They should get that W. So 0-2 for the Panthers so far. On the road against the Raiders, I think Raiders defense will eat up the Panthers. 0-3 so far. Don't see them beating the Bengals. 0-4. Against the Bears, they have a chance, but on the road makes it so tough. But let's say best case scenario, Panthers get the win. So that's 1-4 right there for the Panthers. Let's say they beat the Falcons at home, division game. So 2 wins for the Panthers right there, already tying last season. On the road against Commanders, it's a loss. On the road against the Broncos, it's a tough one. I'm going to say it's a loss. Let's say they beat the Saints at home, so that's 3 wins. Let's say they beat the Giants 4, lose against the Chiefs. Let's say they I can't talk. Let's say they split against the Bucs, so that's 5 wins. Lose against the Eagles, lose against the Cowboys. Let's say they beat the Cardinals, 6 wins. And then probably lose against the Bucs on the road and lose against the Falcons. So they will do better than next year. I think I'm going to give them 6 wins, best case scenario, which is kind of sad. Maybe 7 wins if they're lucky. But they're going to be better, you know. What is it, 6-11? That's what we got them at. Best case scenario for the Panthers. Let's look at worst case scenario here. I mean, it could be really bad, but I don't know. Worst case, 2 wins. We'll see. You know, I think they could start the season 0-4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, actually 0-5, and then get a win against the Falcons. So that's 1 win right there. Lose against Commanders, lose against the Broncos. Let's say they beat the Saints, so 2 wins. Let's say they beat the Giants, 3. Lose against the Chiefs. Let's say they beat the Bucs, 4. Lose against the Eagles, Cowboys. I mean, I'm kind of being nice to them right here. I say they beat the Cardinals, 5 wins, and then lose the rest. So it's pretty close. I don't see the Panthers doing worse than 5 wins. So 5-12. So they do have a tough schedule, but I think they'll do better. Well, they'll definitely do better than last year, but that's probably best and worst case scenario. It's not bad, or it's not good either way, but there it is. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments on the Panthers. All right, moving on to the Buccaneers. Best case, worst case scenario. They start out the season, tough one, at home though, against the Commanders. This is best case scenario, so let's say they get the win there, lose against the Lions, beat the Broncos, so that's 2 wins. Best case scenario, beat the Eagles. Don't think it's going to happen. Best case, let's say 3 wins there. Lose on the road against the Falcons, division game. Let's say they beat the Saints. So what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't see them beating the Ravens. Beat the Falcons, 5. Lose against the Chiefs. Lose against my Niners. Beat the Giants. So that's what, 6? Let's go back again. 1, 2. Oh, sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wins against the Giants. Beat the Panthers 7. Beat the Raiders 8. Lose against the Chargers. I hope they beat the Cowboys. Let's give them a 9 here, but it's going to be tough. Beat the Panthers 10 and beat the Saints 11. So, yeah, I see best case scenario for the Bucs. Bucs had like 9 wins last year, I believe. So, I say best case scenario. We'll give them 10 wins. 10-7. So, you know, winning record. Definitely could make the playoffs with that. A little better than last year. You know, Baker's still there. See if he could keep it up. But that's best case scenario, in my opinion, for the Bucs. Let's look at worst case scenario. Could be bad because there's some games that could go either way. Let's say they lose first game against the Commanders. Then they lose against the Lions 0-2, but they beat the Broncos 1-2. And then lose against the Eagles 1-3. Lose against the Falcons 1-4. Beat the Saints 2-4. Lose against the Ravens 2-5. Beat the Falcons 3-5. Lose against the Chiefs 3-6. Lose against the Niners 3-7. Beat the Giants 4-7. Beat the Panthers 5. Let's say 5-7. Let's say they beat the Raiders 6-7. Lose against the Chargers. Lose against the Cowboys. Beat the Panthers 7 wins right there, and beat the Saints 8 wins. So I say the floor for the Bucs 8 wins and 9 losses. So 8-9, a little worse than what they did last year, almost about the same. So best case scenario for the Bucs 10-7. Worst case scenario for the Bucs 8-9. So it's not terrible. They could still, you know, get the division, but you know, Falcons got better. Saints, I don't know if they got like much better. They kind of stayed the same in my opinion, but we'll see. Or maybe they got worse. Well, let's look at the Saints schedule now. They open up the season. Should be an easy one against the Panthers. Division game, so this is best case scenario. Beat the Panthers. That's 1 win. Lose against the Cowboys. Lose against the Eagles. Let's say they... I don't see them beating the Falcons on the road or the Chiefs. Ooh, that's a tough start. Let's say they beat the Bucs, so 2 wins. Beat the Broncos 3. Lose against the Chargers. Beat the Panthers 4. Beat the Falcons 5. Beat the Browns 6. Beat the Rams 7. Beat the Giants 8. Lose against the Commanders. Lose against the Packers. Beat the Raiders 9. And then lose against the Bucs. So best case scenario for the Saints. I got them at 9 wins. So, I mean, last year that won the division, 9 wins, but I don't think that's going to be the case this year, but I think that's their best. What did they get last year? It was like, yeah, they got 9 wins, so that's exactly what they were at last year. Worst case scenario could be bad here. Saints, you know, beat the Panthers, but lose against Cowboys, lose against the Eagles, lose against the Falcons, lose against the Chiefs. Let's say they beat the Bucs at home just because they're at home, so that's 2 wins. Beat the Broncos 3. Lose against the Chargers. Beat the Panthers 4. They should win these games, but I say they lose against the Falcons, worst case scenario, and lose against the Browns. So that's still 4 wins. Lose against the Rams. They should beat the Giants, 5 wins. Lose against the Commanders. Lose against the Saints. Let's say they beat the Raiders. So 6 wins. I have the Saints, their floors at 6-11. So it's not good. But you know, the division will be a little more competitive this year. Moving on to the last team here. On to the Falcons. You know, they got a bunch of quarterbacks. They got Cousins in there. He should be starting. Let's see. They open up the season with the Steelers, so a tough one. They are at home, though. Let's give him the slight edge here. Best case scenario, beat the Steelers, lose against the Falcons. Ooh, I like this matchup. Chiefs-Falcons, yes, you could say Chiefs right away, but let's say best case scenario, primetime game, Falcons win it. So that's 2 wins right there. Beat the Saints, beat the Bucs, beat the Panthers, beat the Seahawks. That's 6 wins so far. Lose against the Bucs on the road. Beat the Cowboys 7. Lose against the Saints. Beat the Broncos 8. Let's say they beat the Chargers 9. Lose against the Vikings. Lose against the Raiders on the road. Beat the Giants 10. Lose against the Commanders. Beat the Panthers. So 11. I have the best case scenario for the Falcons at 11 wins. So that can definitely win the division right there. So far, that is the best, or it is the best in that division. So I do see the Bucs and the Falcons battling it out for first place this year. Let's look at worst case scenario. Whoops, 11-0. I got to fix that really quick. 11-6. All right. Back to the schedule. Let's say they lose against the Steelers at home. Lose against the Eagles. Lose against the Chiefs. Beat the Saints. So it's only 1 win right there. Beat the Bucs 2. They should beat the Panthers 3. They should beat the Seahawks 4, but that could be a tough one. Lose against the Bucs. Let's say they lose against the lose against the Cowboys. Lose against the Saints. Beat the Broncos 5. Lose against the Chargers. Lose against the Vikings. This could be bad. Let's say they lose against the Raiders and then beat the Giants 6 wins and then beat the Panthers at the end of the year 7. So I see their floor at 7. Definitely don't see them doing any worse than that. 7-10 as their floor. So they're not going to get last place in the division. It's for last place in that division, it's going to be Saints or Panthers. Most likely Panthers, but I have the Falcons winning the division just barely. It's going to be a battle between the Falcons and the Bucs. But what do you guys think of this? Let me know if you agree, disagree. I'm sure you guys disagree with some of this, so let me know your guys' records in the comments. Stay tuned for the next video. Subscribe. We're going to do the NFC, all the AFC divisions. We still got to do the NFC, what was it? NFC North we still got to do. So stay tuned, and you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.